Hey y'all, it is Dream from Where the Yokels Grow, and in today's video we are going to be doing a July summer tour of our garden at our new homestead. This is our in-ground garden in today's video, and then in a different video I will show you all the containers and do a huge update on all those and all the growth that is going on in those. So let's get to this tour and let me take you over and show you the garden. Okay, so we are gonna walk around and start and go around. It is 8:30 in the morning and it is almost 90 degrees, and by this evening, that's why we're not doing an evening walkthrough, it's supposed to be like 102 to 103 degrees today, and the heat index is going to be even hotter than that. So here we go. So I wanted to show you my attempt and fail. I put these little mounds here and I had planted these small pumpkins in the hopes that they would cover, but they just didn't take. So then I reseeded them, put some seeds in there, and we've been keeping them watered. The flower seeds are coming up, but pumpkin seeds are not. So we have a watermelon right here. It's a golden watermelon, and you see this line right here of corn. That was the first line of corn that I planted, and you can see how small it is. The pool guy was draining the pool and all the water was draining in, and it was just flooding this, so it killed half of the row, which was up front, and then this row, I assume because of chlorine, it just stunted the growth. So we probably won't get any corn from this first row, but that's okay. I'm not really worried about it. And then here are our butternut squash, and of course we've had some that got pollinated, and then we have some that unfortunately did not get pollinated because, well, let's face it, unfortunately, sometimes not everything is open at the same time. This row of corn was the 5th row of corn that I planted, because we also have the grow bags that I planted, and then I'll show you the second one here in just a little while. And you can see, but the theory, what is the saying, by 4th of July they're knee high. Well, they're over knee high. So we also have more, and we have more watermelon. Do you see those right here? And for those of you who have never heard this, my grandfather used to do this, and I thought, no, it's a stupid idea, and I left it alone. And I did not intend, I thought this corn was in this row, and so I planted my Three Sisters garden over here, because there's beans over there too. So I planted my butternut squash, and I planted my watermelon here. So then my corn popped up, and I was like, oh no. So my grandfather used to say that planting your watermelons near your corn help to keep a great deal of pests away, and so far I would say his theory is correct. I didn't do it on purpose, wasn't done on purpose. It's just, you know, it is just what happened. So all the corn, and then you can see the watermelons, because I thought this was empty and that the corn was planted over there. You know what, it's all working out. And I see my first cucumber. We are gonna do some harvesting here in just a minute, but it looks like it was my first cucumber, and it's probably went too far, but that's okay. All of this is cucumber right down this row, and then we have another row right here of watermelon. My husband is crazy about watermelon, and so we have a whole nother row right here of watermelon. Now I know you can see these pots, they need to be watered. I wasn't here yesterday. This is tansy and catnip, and there is some dill that was planted in there with the cucumbers, but unfortunately they've been kind of, you can see a little bit of it right there. The cucumbers have overgrown it. So the reason I have these pots in here with tansy and catnip, for those of you who don't like cucumber beetles, always plant catnip and tansy in a pot. Don't put catnip or tansy outside of a pot, because they're both perennials and they will just take over everything. But they will keep all cucumber beetles away. A few years ago I learned this, well, it's been almost 4 years ago now that I learned this about tansy and catnip. I'd had cucumbers, of course, and y'all, I was decimated. No cucumbers that year. I had two weird things happen that year. I had no cucumbers. If I had cucumbers, they tasted like cantaloupe, and then once the cucumber beetles moved in, it was over. So I want to show you, you see the yellowing in these leaves? That is not a disease. If you guys see yellowing like this is an iron deficiency, and I have been putting iron, Espoma's iron tone is what I've been putting on here, and I've been going about, I don't know, I let it melt in liquid because you need liquid to get in there faster. So all of these are cucumbers, watermelon, and we will look at the tomatoes, but they're in the sunny area. These are Israeli melons, and what were they called? Sugar melons? It's either honey melon or sugar melons. And so they've kind of taken over. Again, we have catnip in there. There's 2 catnips to keep, because cucumber beetles will go after your cantaloupes too. And then here are the pepper rows, and if you look close, like I said, we're gonna go and harvest some of this stuff here together in just a minute. I don't know if you can see those red peppers over there. So these 2 rows right here are all sweet peppers, and then we have the Italian, what they call Carinos, sweet peppers, and then we have some gypsy peppers, and we have a hatch, the only hatch that lived in the garden right here. And then of course, you see the corn? There's the first row of corn. Now I apologize for all the shadows. Like I said, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and it is really, really bright out here. And this row of flowers is here, and then down the center of all of these are new flowers that are sprouting up. But look at the zinnias. How pretty. And then we got sunflowers getting ready to bloom, and we have cosmos in there. And I don't know if you saw my video with the corn where I talk about the diversity of pollinators that are out here is amazing. So let me back this camera up just a little bit, and we're gonna get out of here. Oh, here's one of our black beauty peppers, and then our red peppers that we're all going to be harvesting together. Let me go show you tomatoes. Now, if you are in Texas or a warmer climate where your first expected frost date isn't until November, it's time to plant fall tomatoes, and this whole row is brand new. Now all of these except for one in here and these 2 tomatillas right here at the end, I started from seed, including all of the basil that you see, and I started all of those from seed. Gosh, it would have had to been mid-May, I think I did it mid-May. This was the 3rd row of tomatoes, and if you saw my last tour here, you would have heard me say I've got a lot of tomatoes, so some of them die. I don't really worry about it. So a whole bunch of them did die, and we're gonna walk down this row here in just a second, and a lot of them lived. But of course, in the heat of the summer, now you can see the shade, and so this little area right here stays pretty shaded until about 12 o'clock. And then that sun will go up and it'll track across, and then that tree, once it makes its course over there, blocks all the shade again. So here, of course, marigolds, and I want to show you, for those who are new to gardening, why you should plant marigolds in your garden here in just a second. And of course, you can see they're at a point where they're kind of struggling, and we're dealing with spider mites. So we're having to go through and cut that stuff out. And oh, how do y'all like my living? I decided to do a living pathway. I will be changing that next year. It's the worst idea I ever had. Anyway, so we have Kajari melons, because we didn't have a place to put them, so we put them in here. We have basil, and we've got a whole bunch of Roma tomatoes. No, I didn't tie those up. I tried to tie them up, but they got so heavy, they fell back out of there. So here's a new tomato. This is one that I grew from seed, and then here's our marigolds. Now this is in the wrong spot. I thought this was a French marigold just like these, and this turns out, which is fine, is I think it's called a Hawaiian orange marigold. that's here. And then you can see some more tomatoes, and you can see just how, you know, it's summer, it's hot. Everything's taking its toll in the garden. But what I want to show you is why you plant marigolds in your garden. So I want to see if I can get in close. And I don't see the webbing anymore, but you can see this plant. This plant is covered in spider mites, and the spider mites would probably be worse if we didn't have what is called a trap. So here they are. Take a good look. This is called a trap. So we'll be removing these today, and we've already got new marigolds coming in their spot. So if you remember, I've got 2 tomatoes here that I planted from seed. I got to get in the ground. If you remember, our first row that I planted was, no, it was actually this one. This was my first row of tomatoes. Then my second row of tomatoes was right there, and then now this was my third, and these are my fall tomatoes. Okay, let me move around. You can see I've been out here doing some cleaning. I ran out of mulch, so this is already mulched with this brown mulch around here. So when I put in these new tomatoes, these are all cherry tomatoes, large cherry, sweet 100, and golden boys. I'm sorry, golden sun. If you know anything about cherries, they tolerate, you can see how shaded it is right here. They will tolerate a good amount of shade. So we still have some of our first tomatoes right here on this row left over. This is called a cardinal basil. For those of you who've never seen cardinal basil, you see how burgundy and beautiful that stem is? Here in probably September, we'll start seeing tops come off the top, and they will be this beautiful burgundy, just absolutely stunning plant. And so we grow these not to eat, but to see in our garden. And you can see we're gonna be harvesting all those tomatoes. We got tomatoes here. Everything needs some water. And then these are all of our tomatillas. We did that tomatilla video, and we've already harvested again, and now they are reforming new little tomatillas for us. Is the garden. This is the big garden, and then I'm going to take you over here and show you my small raised beds that I have, which has all my zinnias in it. Okay, we're going to go over here and see all the zinnias. So when I planted this, I planted it with basil, marigolds, zinnias. There is a ground cherry in here, and then I have a red, it's called a cherry stuffer pepper. Not seeing it right there. I don't know if you can see it in there. And we have cayenne pepper, and then here is the other one that we have, and there's my fella. My camera am. I love him. Okay, and then finally, here is our pumpkin patch. I know you can't really see really good, unfortunately. We have been attacked by vine borers. You know, I've been cutting the stem and pulling them out and putting dirt over the stem, but I'm losing my battle with them. And then right there is all of the containers, but that'll be another tour. So why don't we get to harvesting some of this stuff? almost forgot this section. So I wanted to show you, these are sunflowers. This is part of our Three Sisters garden. We have green beans planted below those corn back there, but these right here are sunflowers, and these are busy bee sunflowers, as well as cherry rose sunflowers. And then we have a row, which is where the Three Sisters garden was supposed to go, but these are our green beans, and you can see they had a little issue again with iron. We had gotten this soil, it was an organic compost and topsoil mix, but obviously it didn't have enough iron in it. You can see the yellowing, but since I have started putting the Espona's iron tone back on here, and I put the granules down first, and then, like I said, I've been dissolving it in water and then pouring that on top of it. And the same thing was happening with the sunflowers and these corn right here. And as you can see, they are bouncing back well. And I had forgotten that I have these cucumbers, so we're gonna go over here and get these massive cucumbers that I did not know I had, that have went too far. So learn from my mistakes. Do not let your cucumbers go this far. We'll use this for seed, but you really should get them when they're nice and young. And it's just because I don't look underneath here as often as I should, and that's why we have these. And I remember there's another one over here. I saw it when I was recording. There it is. There's another, oh, there's several here. So these have gone too far, but that's okay. We'll use them as seeds. We just want to get them off the plant because we want it to produce. Yeah, we want it to produce. And leaving them on too long causes them to kind of stunt and stop working, and that's not what we want. That's probably about the size you want to get them. Maybe just a little smaller, because these are all pickling. I don't see anymore. Let me get, oh, look at what we got, guys. A baby watermelon. Oh, that does my heart so much good. So lesson learned, I need to start looking under my cucumber. Oh my goodness. Looking in my cucumbers. Pollinators have been very busy down here. I can't believe how many cucumbers are here. Any more? I don't see any more. Another pile. Any in there? Okay. I think we got them all. Look, we have another baby watermelon right there. Oh my goodness, you all. It's so exciting. All right, let me get these cucumbers picked up. Hey you all, I did not film everything that I harvested, but you can see everything that I harvested right here. And if you found some value in this video today, please consider giving us a like and a thumbs up. It helps our channel to grow. And if you're new here and you want to see the journey and all the harvests and the tours that are going to happen in August, September, October, November, plus fall planting is literally right around the corner for us, please consider subscribing so you can see that journey as we take it. Until I see you in the next video, there's one here or up atop. You take care of yourselves, you keep your heads up, and more importantly, no matter how you do it, you keep growing. Bye-bye, you all.